In Sync 366 video series. My hair looks crazy today. It is hot, hot, hot here in California. I thought I would come on here and do this video. Today we're talking about 3 ways in which you can amplify your awareness. Somebody wrote in and asked about this, so I wanted to give some specific ways in which people can amplify their awareness. Although awareness is not everything, it is a step in the direction to igniting a new path. And so I wanted to give some specifics. Why is awareness not enough? Because a lot of people do not make changes based on what they are aware of, for whatever the reason is. So let me reintroduce myself. I am Kiana Sage, and I guide people to peace. This video series is specifically to help people align to practices that align them to the natural laws. These are the laws in which all energy is operating on. I practice an energy modality that I have called energy psychology, and this is essentially addressing all the patterns within the physical body, mental body, emotional body, and spiritual body, obviously to realign us back to our hearts and our souls and our purpose for being here on this planet. So today I wanted to speak specifically about how to amplify your awareness. And one way in which amplification happens is through asking questions, higher quality questions, open-ended questions, questions that you pose to not just other people, but questions that you pose to yourself to reflect on. And those questions can be powerful doorways in which you can expand your personal awareness. However, most of the time when people are asking questions, they're asking questions outside of themselves. And that's quite an issue because the answers that you really need are always going to be found within you, right? So we want to begin to build, we want to begin to build our inner strength through, hey Lucky, good to see you. Hey Jenny. Build our inner strength through asking questions that bring us more within ourselves. And that might be questions about your physical body, mental body, emotional body, spiritual body. Questions about why is this happening is not a good high quality question. What do I need to learn would be a higher quality question. So quality questions are a good way to amplify awareness. Awareness really is important. However, what's equally important is making changes based on your awareness. That's where I think a lot of people get stuck. Hey, Barry from Scotland. The other aspect that I think is really important to amplifying your awareness is identifying patterns that you are repeating or running that are, one, not serving you in your well-being, in your mental health, in your friendships, in your community, just whatever the patterns are. Identify patterns that don't work for you anymore and start to make changes to address those patterns. So, for example, one pattern that somebody might have that doesn't work for them is to their eating habits, right? That's something we all might have patterns for. So what you want to do is to disrupt those patterns, because all patterns that are not serving you need a pattern interrupt. So identifying the pattern is part of how you do an interrupt. You must identify the pattern, then you do an interrupt. But see, you could do this strategically or you could do it ad hoc. It's up to you. The key, though, to amplifying your awareness is knowing and identifying those patterns that need to be changed, and then change them. Don't just make a list. What are all the patterns that I have that need to be changed? What is a pattern? A pattern is more than 2. If it's happening more than twice, you're creating a pattern. So look at patterns that need to be changed. And then the third thing that you can do to amplify your awareness is work with somebody like me or somebody else who really challenges you to think differently, look at things differently, change your perceptions, and that really challenges you to grow. You know, a lot of people don't like to be challenged, but challenge is important to growth. So, yeah, so those are the three most important ways in which I believe you can practice these and it will amplify your awareness. So let me just do a recap and then I'm going to see if there's any questions. First, ask high quality questions. High quality questions will help you amplify your awareness. Don't ask those questions necessarily to outside people, but ask those questions to yourself, okay? An example of a question that I ask myself all the time, what did I do today that I need to learn from, would be a high quality question. What experience did I have today that I have more lessons to learn from? So for example, today I had a client message me about something that was happening to them, and it triggered me as something that happened to me over 10 years ago. But because they were messaging me about it, I knew I had bigger, greater learning to have in it. And once I got it, I shared it with that client. And that's how we use questions to go deeper. So that's number one. Ask questions, but ask questions that bring you inward so you can grow. The second is to identify patterns that need to be changed. What patterns do you have that are working or running in your field that need to be changed? And third is to work with somebody like myself or somebody else who challenges you to think different, perceive different, learn different, that basically somebody who's challenging you to grow into your best self. So that's all three. And so I'm just going to see if there's any questions. And if there is, I'll answer them and then I'll jump off because it is hot out here today. So let's see, any questions about Barry's watching from Scotland. Hello. Hello, India. India seems to show up a lot for this my chat. So hello, India. I live in California. Okay. Yes, people make mean comments. That doesn't hurt me. It only hurts them. So you put out what you and you get it back. It comes back multiplied. So people who want to take time to do that, it doesn't hurt me. It only hurts them. So thank you for sharing that, crazy dog. Your voice is relaxing. Well, I'm glad that you find it relaxing. Celine Dion. I really don't understand the Celine Dion comments. I don't get it. How much do I charge an hour for online sessions? I have a September offer going on right now for first time or people who haven't come to me in over a year. So if you're interested, reach out. Otherwise, all my pricing is on the website. Happy birthday, Do. Okay, Lucky. Why are Americans so weird? I mean, what is he saying? I'm putting on my glasses. I mean, oh, Lucky, you're the weird one, it looks like. Mariah. Namaste. How about patterns that cannot be changed? For example, born in a bad place that you can't change or move out of it. What I would say is that the pattern is not about changing where you were born. It's about changing your perception about what you are in judgment of. So, or what you are seeing or sensing about where you were born, and or the circumstances in which you are seeing your experience. So it's not about changing the pattern of the what has occurred and what is. It's about changing your perceptions and your thinking about the patterns, and that actually changes the pattern in which you are experiencing maybe the limitation. So, for example, you're saying out of a bad place that you can't get out of. You know, bad is a judgment, so good and bad are judgments. Those are happening in the mind. And certainly it's not a preference, right? But we don't need to be attached to good or bad. And just that shift alone might shift your experience of the place itself. But there's probably more to that than what I've just suggested, but that gives you an example of how you start to shift the patterns. And it's not about changing what is, it's about changing what you are perceiving what is, so you could see it from a greater perspective, a bigger perspective, a higher perspective that allows you to have expanded perception in consciousness. Okay? Eric, I'm so happy to see you. Thank you for being here, Eric. Really enjoy seeing you in the chats here. It makes my day. The question here from Daniel saying, what do I think of mindfulness or DBT? I'm not sure what you mean by DBT. That might be an acronym I'm not familiar with, but mindfulness is great. Mindfulness is a practice. I've worked with mindfulness coaches, if you will, in the past, just to get a sense for what they do. And it's not a bad practice by any means. It's not exactly, what's the word that I'm looking for? In my experience of people with the mindfulness practice is it's all about being in the present moment. And I think that's true. It is about the present moment. It is about being present. It is about having awareness. But there's something more that can be experienced within that present moment, I guess, is what my experience is as far as being in sync and being in alignment with your heart and your soul. Because I don't think mindfulness, at least how I have been, how I have experienced mindfulness practitioners, they're just talking about the now moment in the very physical 3D sense, whereas being in sync is really about expanding in consciousness and aligning to the greater laws of the universe, not just staying grounded in the physical, which is what mindfulness practices usually are, which are quite powerful and needed. But that it leads to a very simple life for sure, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just I think what I am offering or suggesting is beyond the physical, and it's really an integration of the physical and the non-physical, beyond the mind, beyond comprehension, really. Hi, Kendra. Good to see you here. Thanks for your support and being here. Yeah, this YouTube creation is quite interesting. It's an experiment that I've been doing for the last 245 days. And, it's very interesting. Thank you so much for your support, Kendra. I'll have to go check you out. Hi, Isaac, Miss Sage, new here. What is the live subject? Today, the subject I specifically was addressing how to amplify awareness. Isaac, yeah. Daniel saying this is behavioral therapy. Not therapy at all, Daniel. I'm glad that you brought that up. This is not therapy. I'm not a therapist. I do not do psychology or psychiatrist. I practice energy psychology. So if you are into that, then this would be the channel for you. If you are into traditional methods, that would not be what I'm proposing. But thank you for mentioning that, Daniel. I appreciate that. I appreciate your comment. The background looks like a poster. Is it real? It is absolutely real. What do you want from life to expand? Daniel. Daniel is saying, I agree, it's a tool, but doesn't resolve the issues. I'm not sure what issues you're trying to resolve. This topic is about amplifying awareness. And awareness will definitely help with crisis as well. And awareness is never about resolution. I think that's an interesting perspective that most people mistake awareness for creating change. Awareness doesn't create the change. It's a potential ripple that could open the doorway for you to create change by using what's called conscious choice. Change occurs through conscious choice. Let's see. All right, so it doesn't look like there's very many questions here, so I'm just going to give you all a moment to see if there's any questions about amplifying awareness and ways to amplify awareness. And if I see any questions, I will happily answer them. Otherwise, I will jump off this live for now. Let's just see. I know there's a delay in my video to the chat, so I'm just waiting. Daniel's saying, I don't know much about your subject. The subject is about amplifying awareness. I would love to know more. If I could recommend one resource to read, what would it be? Daniel, it would be helpful for me to know what you're wanting to learn more about. This particular topic is about amplifying awareness. As you can see, I've done videos for 245 days about alignment and being in sync, about aligning to the natural laws and understanding the natural laws. And so the subject today is about awareness. Do I have books to recommend for awareness? I have practices to recommend for awareness. I gave 3 in this video. So do I have a book about awareness? I'd say you should create your own book of awareness. And I would suggest, Daniel, that you write down an area that you want to grow in. And then notice how focusing on that area of growth and what questions are around that area of growth that you want to grow in, and then start to notice in your awareness what pops in. What are you aware of? People, places, things, commercials, things that will just show up in your awareness. I'm trying to think of a book that I think would be helpful for just increasing awareness. And off the top of my head, unfortunately, I don't have one. Yeah, okay, Daniel, here's what I will have to say. Here's what I have to say about the mind. And I get that you are intellectual. I am very intellectual as well. And I love to learn. But what I have found, my own experience, is that experiential learning is the most powerful. So how you learn through your own experience. And that would be how you are perceiving your own experiences. So I see you're saying here that I don't get the emotional stuff. But I want to offer to you that getting is simply because you're not connected. And that as you connect more emotionally, what you will find is that you connect more to your soul purpose, why you're here. I get that you like to study, but you can't get what you need within from outside. So, and I do think there are good books that could help you start to discover that. One of the books that I think is good for self-discovery is by Harville Hendrix. However, the emotions are the doorway to the soul. So you want to really start to understand feelings. What do you feel? If you don't feel, what does that feel like? Why are you numb? Are you blocked? And start to ask yourself questions. If you're blocked, just do an inquiry to yourself. Why might you be blocked? Do you have a trauma? Do you, and I'm not trying to get into your business, Daniel, at all, but do you have an experience that caused you to emotionally like shut down? Or have you just not been in touch with what feeling feels like? And how do you feel when you feel love? How do you feel when you feel hate? How do you feel when you feel anger, frustration? Those are emotions. Now, nobody wants to be stuck in those emotions. They're not pleasant, but we do want to understand, like, okay, so let's just say you have an emotion of anger or frustration or anxiety. What's triggering that? What triggers that? So you would want to start to get curious about your own ways of coping. And that's how you learn about your own emotional intelligence, right? So there is emotional intelligence. I think I'm going to do a post about my next video. I think I'm going to do about emotional intelligence because it's such a big topic. So thank you, Daniel, for bringing this up. Because emotional intelligence, I would say I'm beyond proficient in emotional intelligence, and I've been helping executives with emotional intelligence for over 25 years, and that is because it's such a weakness for so many executives, and they don't understand how their emotions actually are manipulating or being manipulated at work, and therefore they get stuck or they get triggered, and then they don't know how to get out of it. So emotional intelligence will help you in many ways strategically. So I think I'll do a post on emotional intelligence. However, emotions are the doorway to the soul. The soul is really why we're here, and many people don't understand their purpose, and they get lost. AA, you're not being very kind here, and this is a place of kindness, love, and compassion. So if you want to learn from a place of kindness, love, and compassion, you're welcome to stay in the chat. Otherwise, you could keep moving. This channel probably wouldn't be for you. Daniel, I hope that was helpful. I did make one recommendation of a book, but really our emotions are doorways to know ourselves in more profound, deeper ways. My IQ is mental. My emotional, it's not, I would say, Daniel, I would say you're incorrect in that your emotional intelligence is non-existent. And my data for that is that you have an awareness that you are in avoidance of your emotions. So that awareness tells me that you have some emotional intelligence. But what you don't understand is really how to, and it's probably because you haven't been taught, because we don't talk about this at all in corporate work, and we don't talk about it in schools because it's not comfortable. Because when people are in touch with their emotions, they become more powerful, you know. And let's be honest, there's a lot of hierarchies that don't like people in their personal power. So Daniel's saying, I deal with it by leaving it and never talking to my colleagues. It doesn't work. Well, see, I would say that you are aware. You are more aware than you think. Emotion doesn't have to be painful when you are just compassionately witnessing the emotion. The pain is attached to the intellectual mind placing a judgment or an assumption or a determination of good or bad on what you are witnessing. But when you just witness an emotion all the way through, and when I say all the way through, I mean through your physical body, your mental body, your emotional body, and your spiritual body, what happens is it goes away. Now, when we get triggered into something called avoidance, the pain gets magnified. Because if you have heard the term, what we resist persists. What is actually being created is this thing called density. And density is an energetic term that essentially creates a heaviness and an overwhelm within your energy body. So Daniel, you know more than you think, and I really appreciate what you were saying here, because you're not alone in that. You are not. I've worked with many executives that have articulated exactly what you're saying here, and so you're not alone. Any kind of suppression or oppression is not powerful. It's actually misunderstood as power, right? So if people think they can control their emotions, our emotions aren't supposed to be controlled. They're supposed to be witnessed. They're supposed to be acknowledged. They're supposed to be observed. They're not supposed to be controlled. So control is the mind, the ego mind, that is influencing how you express yourself spiritually. I know that's really hard to understand. So suppressed emotions is powerful, is what somebody is saying here. But what I would say is that that statement is actually what's considered an energetic reversal, and that it's actually different than what you are saying. So that's a reversal in how you are thinking, and that means that your thinking maybe has some manipulation, distortion in it. AA is saying when they get nervous, they have to go to the bathroom. The central nervous system is oftentimes a place where people have energetic manipulation that they're not aware of. And clearly the gut biome is very sensitive, which is why diet and exercise and wellness is so important to us and our body, because our body is a vessel for how we expand consciously. So AA, you're spot on. You need some help in your nervous system. There's so many. Somebody is asking me to define energetic manipulation. I don't have a definition for energetic manipulation. I have many, many examples of it. Many examples of energy manipulation. In fact, you could probably go through any one of my 245 videos and I am talking about some type of manipulation that has been done energetically, because this channel is really all about aligning within, right? And you can't align within if you have energetic distortions, I'll say. Daniel is saying, I appreciate your time. Okay, Daniel, thank you for being here, going to the gym. Good for you. And he says, and if AA continues, he's going to see if they use a VPN, if they're in the same country. He doesn't want to suffer idiots. I see, yeah. Daniel is smart. Don't mess with Daniel. Daniel, have a great day and a good workout. Kai is saying, when I get nervous, my hands shake rapidly. That's your body talking to you. Your body is always going to tell you what's happening within your energy bodies. How you interpret that is definitely up to you. You know, we all have different interpretations. What I would offer is that you want to look at what you're experiencing through the highest possible level of comprehension that you have. Hi, Emily, you have a question. Okay, good night, Daniel. Thank you so much. I look forward to hearing from you more as well. Have a good day. Deepak, I was hoping for some Deepak Chopra quantum work salad. You'll have to go to Deepak for that. You know, it's you already had an idea of what you were looking for manipulation. I mean, there's so many different kinds of energetic manipulation. Obviously, thoughts can be easily manipulated. The ego mind is easily manipulated because so many people are out of balance. Medicines can be a manipulation for how your energy body is working or not working. Chemtrails, toxins, heavy metals, those are all energetic manipulations. Pesticides in your foods are a manipulation of you energetically. The thoughts that you think, hate, discontent, that's poison to your energy systems. So there's all kinds of stuff. Other people's actions can be an energetic manipulation if you are in consent with it, for sure. And if you go into agreement with things that you are unconsciously consenting to, intent, consent, and authority is a huge part of manipulation. People often give up their consent and they defer to authorities, people in white coats, their bosses, and they get led astray. Ian is saying, when you don't have a job to aspire to be big, but are too lazy to put in the work. Yeah, a lot of people don't want to put in the work to go within, Ian, and that is how people get manipulated as well. You know, you have conscious choice every single moment of every single day. And I would say inertia is a way in which people become stagnant. And how do you get out of being stagnant? You have to get out of your comfort zone. You have to do things differently. You have to think differently. You have to go different places. You have to expose yourself to different things. Whatever you can to get more activated. When you don't have a job and aspire to be big but are too lazy to go out and work, you give your life advice to make money. I don't give life advice unless people ask for it. Ian, if you don't want to be here, you could get going. I work every single day. I come out here to do these videos as a way to share about the natural laws and to help people who are not familiar with the natural laws to see that daily practices is what it takes to shift and change. Oh, thanks, Oliver, for being here. I'm glad that you like these videos. These videos aren't for everybody. You know, it's an acquired taste to become aligned. And there's some people that are willing to just fight for their own limitations. And that's not what I am offering here. If you are one of those people that likes to fight for limitations, you know, this video is not here. Okay, Ian, see you later. Hi, Jaden. Hi, Mario. We were talking about, today's video is about activating and amplifying awarenesses. And we just had a great chat with Daniel. So if you want to go back and watch, you can. I don't take donations on here, but the cat under the mat just lost his wife after 55 years. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear of your loss. That's mind altering, soul altering. It's tough, I agree, but I would offer to you, first of all, my condolences, and also knowing that you had the gift of 55 years, and 55 years, you must have learned a lot. So I bet you could spend some of your days writing down what are the lessons that you learned from that relationship of 55 years. And I'm sure there's a ton of wisdom in your relationship. Tough as a cat. Wait, the cat under the mat. If you would write down all your lessons that you learned from that 55-year relationship, you could probably write a book. And it would also shift your attention from the pain, which I'm sure there's a lot of pain in just not having somebody there that you've known in your life for that long of a time, you know, just out of habit, right? So how do you shift your attention? Maybe if you go into learning what you need to learn from that relationship, from that experience, that would shift your attention back into love and appreciation instead of focusing on that they're not here. Because I know that them not being here might be quite overwhelming for you. So for that, you definitely have my thoughts and condolences, and certainly the courage that it takes to continue to dive into the heart and keep the heart open when you have lost somebody so close. So, okay, y'all. I'm going to jump off here. I hope you have a great Friday. Thank you for being here. My name is Kiana Sage, and I guide people to peace. Have a great day. Oh, I'm so glad. Cat under the mat. I'm so glad. I hope to see you tomorrow. I'll be back tomorrow. Have a great day.